Welcome, fellow lushes. Come on in, pull up a bar stool, and enjoy some cocktails with Dimples and the Beard.
On three, two, one. Welcome back to another episode of Cocktails with Dimples and the Beard. Got a legend on tonight. Carolyn Hennesy will be joining us any minute. I'm looking forward to this one.
Can't wait.
Wineville, Cougar Town, St. Agatha, General
Blood.
Hospital, True. The list goes on and on. You can't. The list is so
Rise
so
of
long.
Skywalker.
Trapeze artist. It just goes on and on.
That'd be interesting. How she got into that and how much she fell in love with it.
Yeah.
So yeah, before we get our on, let's go. We go big exciting news. We are on X. Go check us out on X. Big things happening there. They're going to allow and other stuff. Leave a comment.
Cesspool.
Wow. Bring it on. Leave a comment. Let's
Degenerates.
go. Tell your friends. Share. Get comments. We love comments. Bring them on. And then we go.
Call me a bearded. Anyway, so without further ado, Carolyn Hennesy.
This is very exciting.
Hello.
We can see you.
I can see you. That's the thing.
And we can all hear each other?
Huh?
We can all hear each other?
I can hear you.
Awesome.
We can hear you.
Oh, thank you so much for putting up with that. Holy shit. I swear to God, we've done this before.
I know. Listen, I know amateurs when I see them. So where in Wisconsin are you?
We are in Appleton.
Appleton, is that close to Hayward?
No, isn't Hayward way up north?
I think so, way up north. We're about 30 minutes from Green Bay.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Green Bay Packers? Never heard of
Well,
them?
no, I mean Cheeseheads. Yes, no, I know.
Okay.
But my family was on Lake Windigo, was on Lake Windigo, in the little town of Hayward with the best candy shop in the whole world.
Oh.
And Tremblay's, and on the banks of the delightful Nemacolin. Nemacolin.
I've lived in Wisconsin my whole life.
Oh yeah. We used to
And you were saying
we used to go and watch the International Lumberjack Contest.
You were saying a bunch of places I've never heard of, and I've lived here for 50 plus years. So
I don't think you have. I don't think you have. I think you're
How do you live in Wisconsin and not know about the lumberjack?
And not know about the International Lumberjack Festival.
Well, I
learned to log roll.
Oh.
Which made this very, unpopular sixth grader very popular when we went on field trips, because I would teach everyone to log roll, and then they would steal the log from me and roll, and I wasn't allowed to play. But that's okay. Fuck them all, because I'm a very, very famous actress.
Well, there you go.
Oh my God, I love you so much already.
Well, and I think the list is shorter of what you haven't done is going to be. There it is.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Already this is off to a wonderful start.
Rousing start. And haven't had any alcohol.
Oh.
So there's that. Where I know you have your cocktails with you. I have my my little cup, but it's full of chocolate kisses. Because why not?
That's all right too.
There you go. Nothing
well,
wrong with
up,
a kiss
guys?
every so once in a while. Well,
now,
we're
you guys talked to my very dear friend, I was going to say Brandy Alexander.
Yeah, we talk to her quite often too.
I was talking to her over Christmas.
Were you?
A few times.
Yeah. No, Brandy Roderick.
Of course.
Who I just saw. Was it last night?
Oh wow. Are you doing some junkets? Are you going around for the movie?
We were at the it was produced by an organization called Film Threat, and it was award this.
Yeah.
And Wineville was up for best horror film, best indie film of the year, and best directress, which Brandy won.
Well, congratulations.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
And I was going to say all the nominations well worth it, because we've seen the movie and talked to her about it twice. Yeah, great movie.
Yeah.
You've seen the movie twice? You've seen the movie twice?
I have seen the movie twice, yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
You're a little twisted, aren't you?
Well, you got to, in order to catch all of Aunt Margaret's lines and just nonsense, you got to watch it a couple times.
The nuance of Margaret.
Oh,
The nuance of Bella, my dog. I don't know what my dog is doing. Hang on. Bella, Bella, just stop it. What are you doing, you little Okay. That's my Bella for not, and it's not a she, it's a he. And would you stop? What is wrong with you?
Named after
Bela Lugosi, because our
Nice.
first full day together, I was going to name him Ernest or Walter or something fun. And then our first full day together alone, he bit me twice. So he was then renamed Bela Lugosi.
Perfect. My brother's last dog was called Bella after
Okay.
Bela Lugosi.
After Bela Lugosi?
Yep. So
Yeah.
there you go. I love the name.
the only problem I have with the awards that you were talking about is why was Aunt Margaret not nominated? You should have been.
Well, I was going to say there are no actors nominated.
Oh, okay. Well,
There are
then-
no actors nominated. So, and I have issue. I take issue with that.
Yeah.
And yeah, you
Now
know.
I'm curious with Wineville. Did you read the script before you knew you would be playing Aunt Margaret? And if so, did you have any trepidation about playing Aunt Margaret?
So here's the thing. You know, most auditions these days, I don't even know where to look. I'm looking at you guys. Now I'm looking probably where I should be looking, but I won't be looking there for long. Okay. You know, in Hollywood, everything's on tape now.
Yeah.
The casting directors are not in the offices. We do everything on tape. And so I got these 3 particular scenes. I'm not quite sure what the other 2 were. But there was one where I am on the couch with my young nephew eating popcorn
Yeah.
and watching the film that we are watching.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then things happen.
Right off the gate, they sent you that scene to.
They sent me that scene. And you can either, you know, comment on it and shy away from it. And that's not going to. So, you know, you have to go for it. And
Yes.
it was, but when I was recording it, the fellow who was recording me, we did it once and he said, I can't watch that again. So that's the one that's going to them. That's the scene that's it.
That's
And
it.
I said, okay, if it made you that uncomfortable. And he goes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then boom, you got the part
yeah,
because
that's
you
right.
went for it.
Well, you know, you get things like, I don't know, Law and Order and, you know, The Rookie and Castle or whatever it is, you know, all these procedurals and fun little few hallmarks, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, this is the one I'm going to get. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well-
So I have to have relations with my nephew / grandnephew. That's right. And if your audience wants to figure that out, they can't. They have to go see the movie.
Yeah.
They have to
Absolutely.
watch the movie. And we were talking about prior that it's been out long enough. We've already had 2 episodes talking about it. So we're going
Gotta
to
be a
talk about it.
spoiler or two.
There's going to be some spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Okay. Well, then should I just say what I do on the?
Which we've already kind of said. Anybody that hasn't watched
Yeah.
the movie, pause,
Yeah.
go watch the movie, and then come back and watch the rest of the interview.
Exactly. Watch it with no kids and some drinks.
Yeah.
And it's not a date film.
Yeah, well, there's some demented out there that would probably.
I was gonna say my wife and I watched it together and loved it. So
Well, yeah, but you two have, you know, you have some history. This is not, let's say, a first, second, or third date film.
there you go. That's
right.
Right? No.
Can you imagine bringing a first date to that, not knowing what's
I would
about to
leave.
happen?
I would leave. If somebody screened that for me, I'd say, you're lovely. Thank you. Uber.
Uber.
Yeah. No, awful. Just crazy. Crazy.
It is, and it was. So the first time we talked to her about it, you know, the movie was being made, and she couldn't tell us too much, but we didn't. And then we have her back on, and we're like, "You mentioned to us, Randy, that you're demented mind," but we had no idea. We had no idea you were going to go this far. Love that she did.
Yeah.
Because as the movie went on, it got more and more. And
So you guys have basically talked about it a lot. So your audience knows.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
for sure.
all right.
We had Brandy on after it came out, and we definitely spoiled a few things. So
Yeah. Okay. Did she tell you about Aunt Margaret's wig? No.
Yes.
Is there? Do we? I don't know. Let's find out.
Well, the budget was the budget, right?
Yes.
And so we didn't have, the Hollywood money, the big money for, the lace front hairpiece. I mean, for a really expensive wig. So like 3 or 4 days into shooting, I'm looking at some of the dailies going, oh my God, you can tell right down the middle. Hello. And I thought, how are we going to fix this? Because we have to fix it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it was already established on camera. So I thought, okay, here's what we do. And I spoke about this with her, and I said, when Margaret comes into a scene, every once in a while, she'll just go like this.
Yeah, that's right.
That's
right.
So it's just real simple.
Yeah.
And right, so she said yes. And one of the special effect of the garden clippers going into that beautiful young girl.
Yeah.
And then things spilling out from the resulting incision. It did not go well. Things weren't spilling out the way they needed to be.
Okay.
Things were kind of like blurping out, right? Not as if one's intestines, not as if one was being disemboweled, and it needed. And so I said, okay, Brandy, here we go. This is how we fix this. They are going to continue to work on this, but they know that they have now put us a little behind. And it was a great special effects company, but they put us behind. So this is what you do. This is what you ask for. You ask for, in the final fight scene between her and I, a skull cap.
Yeah. Yeah.
For me. And you scab it up and it up and you just, things crawling around up there, right? And so and then you rip off my wig, and that's the actual Aunt Margaret. She went, oh yes. So we did that. Thanks to things just blurping out as opposed to falling out the way they needed to. We got that extra special effect. So
and the scene you're talking about, the disembowel, it still worked perfectly. So that's a win-win.
Yeah. Well, they finally kind of got it halfway between the falling out and the blurping out. So yeah. Are
those the technical terms we use? The big movie people use?
That's me. That's what I use. That's what I
How much, like, from the original script to what filming? How much say did you have in changing some things up or improvising, or was it all on the page?
No. It's almost, I don't know. I don't know anything these days except some television procedurals where it's all on the page. You do not deviate. The commas have to be clear. The semicolons have to be. And when something else sort of strikes the cinematographer, the director, you, the actor, another actor, if it's a really good idea, a really good director will say, that works better.
Yeah.
That better serves the whole piece. Let's put that in.
Yeah.
And that's the actual mark of a secure, knowledgeable, and great director.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
and Brandy did tell us about the improvisation of the singing of Aunt Margaret during some of the torture scenes, and how that just came out of you.
Yeah, that and the undressing. And I said, you know what? Aunt Margaret doesn't have that many clothes. So her wardrobe is not vast. So let's not get blood on them. I said, so Brandy, I'm just going to take off. I'm going to strip, which means granny bra, granny panties. And she just, you could just tell Brandy wanted to kind of go off and vomit somewhere after I'm explaining all this to her, but she didn't. She held it together because she's a trooper. And I said, yes. And then I'm going to, I have this big cross around my neck. And so I'm going to be singing the good old spirituals.
Yeah.
I'm driving knives and cutting off things and
cutting off things and it was the perfect tone that you sang to go along with it, and just your movement. I fell in love, and that was my biggest takeaway, or my favorite character. And we got to get you on. We got to get you on.
Oh, I'm so glad. Yeah, it's roles like that. I did a role for Darren Bousman in a film called Saint Agatha.
Yep. We
Yeah.
definitely have to talk about that.
Yes.
and
Award-winning performance.
Yes.
yes, yeah, I did. And in that I'm cutting things off from young girls, and it's crazy. And I was in therapy at the time, and maybe should be again. But my therapist, because I was telling my therapist, I said, this is what I did, and this is what Darren wanted, but I said, hey, let's do this. And she said, how do you come back from something like that? And I said, well, because if you don't, you shouldn't be in this business anyway, because you're clinically insane. But you get paid to kind of delve into that dark side, which we all have.
Yeah.
Yes.
If we don't at least acknowledge it, forget exploring it, but if we don't at least acknowledge it, that's when the bad things happen.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's when you go home and you know.
And some people's are a little darker than others, but that's okay.
Sure. And some people don't acknowledge them, and things go haywire. Because if you
Sure.
understand that it's, dark and light, and it's finding that balance. So I said, yes, I get to explore that dark side, get paid for it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get to go to the catering truck.
Is that kind of is it kind of therapy itself to be able to project that in front of a camera?
Absolutely. It's like ex-husband.
Yeah. Maybe I should try acting.
You got.
I got to know which character is more evil between Mother and Aunt Margaret. Which one would I be better off running into in a dark alley?
Neither.
Because they both had their level of evilness.
Yeah.
They really do. Look, here's the thing. Both Margaret and Mother Superior are not necessarily evil. They just understand that the world needs to work a certain way.
Sure.
Their way. And if these young little pregnant girls in St. Agatha did what they were supposed to do, there would be no problem. If Brandy's character and Joe, if they did what they were supposed to do, no problem. If she simply signed over the vineyard to me, no problem. It's all workable if you do what I say.
Brandy's the real villain.
Brandy is the real villain.
Oh,
I think probably it's Margaret, because listen, Mother Superior doesn't want to have to do the things that she has to do. She gets a tiny little bit of pleasure, but Margaret really gets a great deal of joy. In ridding the world of these young kids, the young boy, the young girl, who are simply sluts. They're just whores of Babylon. And bye.
So you're doing the Lord's work in both movies, actually.
Always.
Right. Yeah.
Always.
I am curious for a character like Aunt Margaret. When you get do you create a backstory for yourself? Do you try and figure out why Aunt Margaret is? Because we're not really told why she's.
Well, in a way we are, because she was abused.
Sure.
It's the cycle of abuse. She was abused by her brother.
Right.
And starting at a very young age. Well, that sets you off on a certain path. That sets you off on one trajectory. She's in love with her brother, Edmund.
Yeah.
And then Edmund marries, and Margaret's cast aside. Well, Margaret has no coping skills in the actual world. She's on this vineyard. She doesn't know how to have anything even remotely approaching a healthy relationship. It's foreign to her because this is all she knows. So, so that sets her off on the trajectory.
Sure.
And again, if they would have just done what she wanted, nobody would have been hurt, and you would have gone off the deep end.
If Edmund had just, I don't know, married me, his sister, or just kept on going, we could have had a delightful little relationship with our five-headed child.
There were a lot of different dark paths that this movie went through, which was great to see that there was nothing that was out of the realm. So, if you want to go crazy, you want to go to deep and dark, you just did it.
Yeah. And Wineville has, I think, one of the great fight scenes I've ever seen. With
which one?
Texas.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, yes, mine with her is very, very quick. It's, rip the wig off, fight a little bit, smash.
Yeah.
But the scene between Texas Battle
Mm-hmm.
and Casey
Yeah.
it's a great fight scene. You know.
It really is.
Yeah, for being such an independent and low budget
Yeah.
and first time director,
Right.
right.
Yeah.
All those things put to place.
Well, I think she cast it well all around, and casting's half the battle. And especially if you have actors that will go for it, not shy away. Because in a film like this, you shy away, and even one element, one millisecond, it takes the audience out of the film, and you have to work twice as hard to get them back.
Absolutely. And what a great performance by Casey playing Joe.
Oh, he's so good.
And I said I don't want to spoil that part, but Joe's character surprised me all the way up until the end. I didn't know exactly how he was going to end up, and I love that because he kept me guessing the whole time.
He did.
So,
yeah.
And the things that he had to do on screen, like he was a bit of a man whore through the whole movie. So
yeah. Again, no one. I mean, I think there are people who know how to maybe know what a healthy relationship looks like and choose not to have one or can't. No one in this film knows what a healthy relationship looks like, has no idea.
True. Yeah.
None. So they're just trying to do the best they can, but it's all wrong.
It's wrong.
It's all wrong.
It's all wrong, but so right.
So do you struggle just playing a normal character? Because you're so good at the outrageous ones.
No, I just did a Hallmark film where I play the delightful, wacky, but absolutely normal, Nutella-loving Aunt Gigi in a film called Deck the Walls. And
It sounds very wholesome.
Very wholesome, extremely wholesome, and and full of sage advice and wisdom and just good cheer. And she loves to cook for the people she loves, and that's it. And she's got a little thing. So very normal.
Sure.
Very normal until you look in her bedroom.
Oh,
I mean,
Christmas movie?
I know. No, it's everyone's got their quirks and their little tweaks and their things, but that you're never going to see in a Hallmark movie. That you're going to see in Indy.
You're not, no. But I mean, your array of characters. I mean, I'm not going to touch on it because you'll get mad at me. But another character, from True Blood.
Wait a minute. Why is he going to get mad at you? What's happening? What's going on?
Well, because what I want to talk about is Barb from Cougar Town, because
Absolutely.
I absolutely love the character. I love the show. Bill Lawrence is a fucking genius. Scrubs is the best sitcom that's ever been on good old normal TV. And I loved your character. And you would play like you'd be in the episode for like 1 or 2 minutes, and just for these raunchy comments, just to
That's it. As I would say, they wrote comedy gold for Barb. And I would come in, drop a little atom bomb, watch it explode, and then
away you go.
Skulk back into the darkness.
Yeah.
So the joy on our faces after we had seen Wineville and looked back at you and said,
"Oh, that's
she's
right.
Barb.
She's Barb."
We were ecstatic. It was like, you got to be kidding me. This is awesome. So, you're probably my favorite part.
Okay, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. Yeah, I love Barb. I loved Barb.
Was that all written for you, or did you improvise some of that?
That was almost all written. The only things that I suggested that I do were basically physical. There's one episode where I have to swing my leg up on this guy's shoulder, right?
Yes.
And they had a couple of dancers, that they wanted to swing the leg up, but it would require much intricate camera movement to get from me right here with this guy and then the leg up. And I said, fuck it. And I just swung my leg up, and the crew went, "Oh, we love you." And I said, "Yes, well, I love you too." So I swung my leg up. So there was that. And I said, enough of that. And then one day I come in and they say, "Carolyn, we need you to pick your ass." And I went, "Huh?" And they said, "We need you to, validate your stunt ass." And I went, what is happening right now? I said, so
Yeah, well, yeah.
scene where Barb is dressed like a hay bale,
Yep.
right? And I said, oh, no, no, no. There's not going to be a stunt ass. It's going to be my ass. I mean, come on. I look okay. And so
You're
they said,
professional.
and everyone was so concerned. And I said, what are you talking about? I'm dressed as a hay bale with my little cheeks showing in the back. This is not a hustler spread. What are you talking about? No, let's go do it. So there was that.
So no,
But the
no stunt
writing,
doubles for you.
no stunt doubles for me. No stunt doubles for my ass. If I'm, sailing off a cliff somewhere,
Yeah.
and then going into paragliding. Yeah, no. Yeah, but the lines were basically as written.
Yeah.
And because the trust that I had in those writers,
Yeah.
it's when you see what they're doing, you know they know everything that you need to say. So
When you get a
Hard to
line,
improve on that.
when you're on a waxing table and you get the line, let's detail this Ferrari, that is
There's so many. Oh,
one of my favorites is, because you never see the photograph, is she shows the photograph to Busy Phillips and Dan Byrne. She goes, I keep it long in the winter. What are you talking about? We can assume, but we don't know. We never see it. Yeah.
So how did you get hooked up with that show?
Audition. Just
Yeah,
audition.
no, audition. Okay.
Yeah. And I went in and my Barb was just very disdainful and kind of like, it was for the pilot. And it says, I'm just trying to see which one of these, whatever I'm going to take home and actually here's when I did get to improvise a lot. I'm just trying to see who's going to, wear me like a luchadora mask, wear me like, and I ran through a whole gamut of things in the pilot, and I'm not quite sure now exactly what made it in, but yeah, which I'm going to take one of these guys home and let him do something to me, and I was able to kind of run with a whole list of things that I was going to let him do to me in very, very funny ways.
Oh my God. So do you prefer comedy or do you prefer doing because you're so good in both?
I am determined to become the queen of horror.
Okay.
Because it's just so much fun and it also demystifies horror for the actor, and then when the actor starts watching, because why do people like to watch scary movies and why do people not like to watch scary movies? It's I've done a lot of research and talked to a lot of people, and it's really interesting. And one of the things I said is, well, when you're going through it and then the film ends and you come out the other side, you as the audience member have now kind of conquered that bad guy, conquered that demon, conquered whatever it is. You've come out on the other side.
Yep.
So you are also victorious.
And that's when you have a good horror movie is when people in the audience put themselves in that place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
To see like, what am I going to do? Because
Right. It's like, why are you running into that? Why are you going back into the house?
I would do this. Yeah.
No. But there's nothing like making people laugh. There's nothing else like it.
Sure.
First of all, I think it's extending lives because laughter is proven to extend, the more you laugh, the longer you live. It just sort of chemically does something to your DNA. And I love that. So comedy there's nothing else like it. When you can do a comedy that's also a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
The comedy horror.
Those are fun. They are fun.
Yeah.
Well, your laugh per minute, if that's a stat on Cougar Town, would have to be as high as there's ever been. Because if you're on screen, people are laughing in Cougar Town. There's no you're never there just for. It's always for a laugh.
Yes. She's never there. It's just a placeholder. Heavens no.
No.
Heavens no.
With all the reboots coming around, you never know. That I'm assuming you would jump right back at it if they ever reboot it.
Oh, if asked, of course, sure.
Bill Lawrence.
Yeah.
I'm sure Bill Lawrence is watching this. He watches everyone. So Bill, bring it back.
Bring it back.
Does Bill Lawrence watch this?
He
We'll
does
see.
now. He does now.
He will now. He should.
Yeah.
Tag him.
Oh,
The man doesn't have time. The man is off being a genius and creating other shows.
yeah.
Creating Ted Lasso. So
Absolutely.
who knows what he's doing now. So
whatever it is, it's about to sell billions.
Right. You can't control him. So now, again, I really got into True Blood.
Yeah.
When it came out. Not when it came out, but I got into it later. And for some reason, it was one of my
Guilty pleasures.
guilty pleasures. Thank you. That a lot of people are like, what? But I don't know. I really loved it. And I own every season. So again, he was in True Blood.
I'm not going to
say
say
it again.
I had not seen when I got Rosalind, I had not seen True Blood. That was just not one of the things that I was happened to be watching.
Sure.
So I went home and there were 4 seasons previous because I was in season 5. And so it was 48 hours, 12 episodes a season, 48 hours of True Blood. And I watched basically, for 2 days straight.
Jesus.
Going on and on and on. And my husband at the time said, if I hear that theme song one more time, I'm going to strangle you and everyone associated with it.
Okay. You said he's an ex-husband?
Yeah. And
now
I said,
know why this, no offense to the True Blood watchers, but the theme song was the best part.
Right?
Other than your part. I fully admit.
Other than Rosalind Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Which again, she's a great character.
So much fun. So much fun.
He just
the best.
Yeah. And just having that power.
The vampire with the Texas twang.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. She'll have a glass of whiskey and then she'll stake you and then she'll bite you. Yeah. Yeah. It was boatloads of fun.
See, another one. You just how do you when you pick characters to play? Do they come to you or how do you know which ones to pick?
My mortgage tells me which one.
Okay.
Listen, actors act,
Sure.
And I have been blessed to have auditioned for in most cases. Mother Superior didn't have to audition for, just met with Darren Bousman and he said, yes, you. And I said, yes, you. Okay. I've just been blessed to have an array of characters that are incredibly interesting. And if something comes along and I get it and it's not on the surface really interesting, I'll make it interesting. I will, because it has to be fun for me.
Right.
And if I'm doing it, and if I'm on a set, if I'm on a soundstage, that's the happy place. So let's do everything we can to make it what's your favorite project, Carolyn? What's the best thing you've ever done? What I'm doing right now. It's the best thing. It's fantastic. It's happy. For a lot of people, it's Disneyland. For me, it's a big old dark, moldy, asbestos filled, musty, probably rats, soundstage.
Sounds like a happy place.
It is. It's a very happy place for me.
Well, and I love the attitude, right? The favorite one is the one you're working on now, right? Because you can be creative. So when you're not being creative, how do you spend your time? Because it seems like you need to be creative.
Well, yeah. And fortunately, I've got General Hospital, which is the gift that keeps on giving, and Diane Miller, and
600 plus episodes.
Jeez.
Right? They let me improvise a little bit, and my character, the fans really love my character because she's funny, she's sassy, she takes no prisoners. She tells it like it is. She's basically like the Greek chorus for the show because she's saying to everybody on the soap opera that she interacts with what the audience is thinking and is screaming at the television but can't say. Right. So that's a constant creative outlet. Listen, I fly trapeze.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I have an aerial rig at the end of my driveway, so I'm, constantly aerializing, and And I've got a new dog that I picked up when I was doing some theater back in the Berkshires.
Okay.
Yes, my little Bela Lugosi, my little vampire dog. Um, I'm an animal advocate, so I'm an ambassador
Mm-hmm.
for American Humane and Elephant Nature Park in Thailand. You know,
Oh,
Oh wow.
trying to raise funds and what else? I'm a voracious reader
and
and
author.
and
And
and an
author.
author. Yes, yes, yes.
So let's do two tie-ins there because I've seen you wrote a book connected with General Hospital, like
The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli.
and so was there other novels, and you just are one of many, or is that just a one-off?
It was a one-off. There was a time years ago, because The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli came out 2011. And before that, there had been, I think, one called like Robin's Diaries, sort of fictionalized accounts, not too many, but they asked me to write this book because I have a series of novels out for young adults,
Mhm.
Pandora series. So the head writer at the time, Bob Goose and Jill Farron Phelps, who was the executive producer at the time, they said, okay, we know you can write and that people may or may not buy it. So we would like you to write this fictionalized account of everybody in Port Charles from the particular viewpoint of Damien Spinelli. And I
Okay.
said, done. So it ended up being a series of 17 short stories.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, where he's always, because when Bradford Anderson came onto General Hospital, he's this computer hacker extraordinaire, but he has this alter ego called the Jackal, and it's very Dashiell Hammett, very Sam Spade. So it's all written kind of from that perspective. So he's the hero in every story, but every story has at least one or two, sometimes three of the vets of the series of the main contract players.
Okay.
In very interesting lights and very funny. I was just rereading it the other day, and it's like, yeah, this is really funny. And the fans loved it.
I was gonna say, I imagine
Yeah,
big
so
fans of the show must love that kind of
They
stuff.
did. They did. They the pre-orders alone landed me on the New York Times bestseller list for that. Yeah, so it's like, and it could have been empty pages. They just wanted, they knew that something about General Hospital was coming
Was there a
out.
reason it didn't continue on?
The Secret Life of Damien Spinelli?
Yeah.
It was just a one-off. I don't know why they didn't ask for a sequel.
Because
it sold
usually
really, really well.
one-offs, and if there's popular, there's always a sequel.
But I'll tell you this, it was also very self-contained.
Okay.
It basically looked at everybody, all of the main characters on the canvas. If it had gone on, it might have had to go like, he would have to go international, and who knows?
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah. Read it. It's fun.
Well, right. I didn't know about it till now, and I apologize. I'm not a big General Hospital guy.
Okay, well, this
So-
was fun. This was fun.
I'm sorry, but I'm not a soap opera anything guy.
I love it.
Yeah. Lying right to our guest.
Don't worry. It's okay.
Yeah.
I think but now is it true that I heard that your character was only supposed to be a limited time at first?
2 episodes.
Oh,
Two episodes about 18 years ago.
and we're almost
Yeah.
to 700 now.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah. We just hit the 18. I'm in year 18 on the show. Yeah.
What
2
is the-
episodes.
So what is the shooting schedule for a soap opera? If you're like, are you filming every day?
When they are filming, it's every day. I'm not every day.
Okay.
I don't think anybody is 5 days a week.
Okay.
Because there's simply too many storylines,
Sure.
too many actors on the show.
Yeah.
We have our dark weeks, which
Okay.
is the entire month of July, and then various dark weeks, for budgetary reasons. And so when we are there, it's Monday through Friday, and unless it's a holiday, and we're shooting usually episodes of at least 2, sometimes 3 or 4 episodes that day, elements of various episodes, and then
Sure.
they
Yeah.
cobbled it all together
But
and
it's
edited. Yeah.
I can't imagine the organization that it takes
Yeah,
to
I
record
couldn't-
those things.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it.
So many moving
So
pieces.
with soap operas, do you get many times that redo takes? It's not, or is it one and done?
They would love it if everything is working and there are no technical glitches.
Sure.
You can do it in one, you're a hero. And a lot of times we do it in one. They buy it. But so there are technical difficulties. There's a shadow somewhere. The director sees something that they want to change. So, it's we maybe two or three takes. And
Okay.
So as a non soap opera watcher, again, apologies, but
both of you?
yeah,
Oh man.
has Diane died at all in these 18 years? And because I know that's kind of a common trope in the soaps that characters
Died, been in a coma, gone missing, been possessed. No.
There you go.
Diane was a murder a murder victim. She was a victim of a serial killer, but she was rushed to the hospital in time and saved. Yes,
yes.
I know. But those were great days because I was lying down, didn't remember many lines at all, with no makeup, just kind of lying there. It's like, oh, this is fun.
getting paid to take a nap.
You can fall asleep. Sometimes I've heard stories that people will fall asleep and they'll shut off all the lights and the crew will leave and the soundstage is dark and people will wake up going, what the hell?
That's
That'd
gonna
be
freak
awesome.
a person out.
That'd be awesome. So here's my other General Hospital question, because I don't remember, and it was before you. What was the big wedding storyline? Who were those? The big curly haired guy.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You don't, it's not emblazoned. It is emblazoned into the psyche of everyone.
The world.
Luke and Laura.
Luke and Laura.
You were like Greg and
What is happening?
I think I said Gary and Laura.
Well,
the actor's name is Gary, isn't it?
Tony Geary. Oh my gosh.
I'm piecing it together.
No, you're not piecing it together.
I don't get any credit.
Gary. Anthony Geary. Anthony Geary, one of the greatest actors. I'm not even going to say daytime. One of the greatest actors, period. He did for daytime acting what Brando did for film acting.
All right.
He gave, there's a sense of freedom and big choices and really delving into the character that he allowed for everybody. He changed the face of it, which is why he has 5 million Emmys. But yeah, Luke and Laura, 1981, I believe.
Okay.
That wedding, I can never get it straight. It was either Charles and Diana or Luke and Laura. One of them was the most watched wedding on television, televised wedding ever. I think it was Charles and Diana with a close second. Luke and Laura, because
if I was a betting man, I would say it was that order, but it was close.
College classes were scheduled, not just the students not wanting to take certain classes, the actual professors didn't want to be teaching class from like 1 to 2 on a weekday. So because everyone wanted to watch the saga of Luke and Laura. Luke and Laura, from their fateful beginning all through their courtship, the wedding, and then they leave Port Charles. Where have they gone? They come back to Port Charles. It's crazy. It was a mania. It was a mania.
It was.
And Tony and Jeannie Francis, she's still on the show, and she's one of the most beautiful women you've ever seen. She's just extraordinary.
Well, that's good. That's kudos to her for being around that long. Wow, that's awesome.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Now, did he die? Did they
Tony?
get divorced? Or I mean, the character.
Oh, the characters? Oh. Well, I think there were a couple of comas. She was in Shady Brook, the institution.
Oh, okay.
For a little bit. And they fell apart, and then he married Tracy Quartermain and she married somebody else.
Whoa.
And I don't know.
Those
Yeah.
weddings didn't garner
but
the
they-
attention.
No, oh no.
Not
Um,
even close.
because what Luke and Laura did had not been done before on a soap opera. Don't forget, soap operas were there to sell soap. They were very wholesome. They were, just, I mean, first of all, they were on the radio and then they started being televised, and you didn't see what you see today. The storylines hadn't gone wonky, with like lasers from space and,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. And so Luke and Laura, it started out with a rape, and she was just freshly out of being underage. He took advantage of her, and it was mind-blowing because then he made her fall in love with him, and she did. It was so deftly done,
Hmm.
without um without giving making the rape anything other than what it was,
Yeah.
which was a serious offense. I mean, so how they walked that line is what kept everybody glued, simply glued.
It's amazing when you can
It-
capture people's
yeah,
attention that way.
yeah. So but to start out that way, it hadn't been done. I don't think it had been done before.
Yeah,
Probably not. Yeah.
that seems rather risque for that time.
Very, very well. That was Gloria Monty, and she was a bit of a trailblazer.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Frank Valentini, our current executive producer, he's a bit of a trailblazer too. He brought this show into the 22nd century.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so right now, what is your Diane's storyline?
Well, she just lost her boyfriend.
Oh no.
Yes, because they gave me one of the great veterans, Tristan Rogers, who played Robert Scorpio. Also, his heyday was during the Luke and Laura, right? So I used to hostess at this one particular restaurant called Maselli's in Los Angeles, and he would come in, and it's like it it sitting at the end of the bar. Oh,
Yeah.
right. And I would just, it's like, Mr. Rogers, your table is ready. And then suddenly I'm kissing him, 30 years
Wow.
later. It's like, and
Play the long game on that one.
Yeah, right, exactly. All my machinations coming true. Yes, yes.
Plotted way back then. Day one, you plotted it out.
You're saying vision boards do work.
Vision boards. Right, exactly. So his great love was Holly Sutton, played by the beautiful Emma Samms. And Emma Samms would kind of come in to Port Charles and then leave and come back and leave. But Robert and Holly. Anyway, when it was
I
Robert,
remember Emma saying, I remember her.
yeah, she's and still beautiful.
Mm.
Hater. Still beautiful. Stunning. So she came back to Port Charles, and she has this hold over him, and so he had to leave with her, and I released him from the bonds of boyfriend.
Okay.
girlfriend.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what's the next step? Can you give us some dirt?
I don't know. The new year has just started. There are going to be lots of court cases for Diane, and hopefully there will be some love, but we don't know who it's going to be. We don't know who on the canvas.
We know
All
there
right.
we know there will be at some point. There's always
Well,
love.
Obviously.
All
One
right.
can only hope.
So you mentioned trapeze as well. I got to know how, why, what got you into
How and what?
trapeze?
A million years ago, when God was a boy, I was in a production of Comedy of Errors at my university, and it was set under the big top circus
Okay.
theme. So there were jugglers and tumblers and whatever, tightrope walker, but the two lead females were up on static hanging trapezes, aerial trapezes. So we didn't fly across, we just did our tricks. And so I choreographed my monologues and dialogues, and I also choreographed the other girls, because the other girl, I think she was a transfer student from God only knows where, and she couldn't care less about this thing, and she just kind of had long blonde hair and looked very good. It's like whatever. So I choreographed for her, gave myself the best moves,
Yeah.
and just went nuts. So a lot of Shakespeare. I was spouting a lot of Shakespeare, hanging by my ankles,
Jeez.
as one does. And so I fell in love with it. Just absolutely fell in love with it.
Hmm.
Trained, and then carried it on afterward. And ultimately, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to the flying trapeze. And
Sure.
I trained with one of the great flyers in the world, a man named Richie Guyona of the amazing Guyonas, and that it was very close to my house, and over he was in Woodland Hills, and it was in his backyard, and we would all just sort of gather there and you know try and throw layouts and doubles and whatever, and get caught and come back to the board, and it was tremendous fun.
And you're still doing it to this day.
I'm still doing it. Yeah,
And
yeah.
you have your things.
But we kind of have lost. Richie has moved on. He's gone to Vegas. There are almost no trapeze rigs in Los Angeles. There's one out in on the end of the pier in Santa Monica, and there's one up in Santa Barbara. So I'm gonna start going to the one in Santa Barbara. So
Okay.
Yep.
And you
As a hobby. I'll just go up there and fly around as a
Right.
hobby.
just go
But
and
you-
fly around. But my real love it goes back to the hanging trapeze, the static trapeze, the thing you see a lot in Cirque du Soleil.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
And you've been able to bring the skill to the big screen.
Well, to the little screen. I believe it or not, I have a Hallmark movie that I wrote, which is set on the trapeze.
Okay.
But,
Hmm.
yeah, it's with Hallmark. But the to the little screen in Jessie, which I did for the Disney Channel.
Okay.
So yeah, so I was able to do a little bit of my static stuff as Mrs. Chesterfield. So because I said, I do this, you need to write it in.
Yeah, right.
And they
Stop
did.
wasting my talent.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, you have this treasure trove that you just don't even know. Untapped wellsprings of talent.
Who else does trapeze?
No one that I know.
Yeah. So
Pink.
got the market cornered.
There you go. And I see you do a lot of voice acting. Now,
do.
did you get into that because of paycheck, or did you love to express yourself?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I was just on a series called Big Nate,
Yes.
where I played Mrs. Godfrey, and done by the books by Lincoln Pierce, and again, so much fun. And we started that during the pandemic.
Okay.
Okay.
We started Big Nate during the pandemic, so we couldn't all go over to Nickelodeon, which is very, very close to me, and be in the studio and work together. Even two or three of us, we all had to do it remotely. So there were like 30 of us on a Tuesday in like a 3-hour session, and we would make each other laugh so hard and that people would have to mute themselves. People were it was a great way to spend a Tuesday when you're in lockdown in your
Yeah.
home and just laughing your ass off. And then when those restrictions were lifted, we all went,
Oh.
we all got to go in the studio, see each other, hug each other, and make each other, laugh silly. So it was a wonderful experience with a brilliant cast, brilliant young cast. Yeah.
Imagine at that time too. So like you mentioned earlier, laughing and at that point when early in the pandemic, everybody really needed to laugh. So that must have
Oh,
been
God.
nice to be able to
Oh, yeah.
get
Oh,
that
yeah.
social interaction.
Yeah. And then you carry it with you through the rest of the day. It was so much fun. So much
Yeah.
fun. Oh, no, I love voiceover.
You do enough
Commercial
of it.
voiceover,
Yeah. Wow.
animation voiceover. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun because again, it's all acting. It's
Yeah.
all little arcs, big arcs, What
And
do
you
you
get to
want
work in your pajamas.
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely.
So when you are doing the voice acting, are you kind of acting it out right in front of the microphone? Do you get that
Oh.
into it?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I do. Yeah, yeah. Most
Most do? Oh, okay.
certainly on the some do.
yeah.
On Big Nate, a lot of people just went for it. So it was fun to watch. It was a lot of fun to
It
watch.
was fun.
How did you get to use, not to switch subject, but get to use some of your trapeze in Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker?
I did not.
No, I thought I read that. I don't.
Trapeze in Star Wars?
Well, no, just
No.
more of the physical work.
No. That was voiceover. That was all
Well,
voiceover.
that was just a voiceover. Okay.
Yeah. Fighter pilot Demi Lythe was
Yeah.
you know, she
Okay. Because
was
I'm like, I gotta go back and watch and see if I can find you because it's been a while
you,
since I've watched that.
you can hear me.
Sure.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
internet isn't
Honest,
always right.
You shouldn't have told me. I'd just sit there and be like, where is she? I keep watching.
where's the trapeze? Where's the trapeze?
I would
Mark
be-
Hamill and Ray and right, they're all swinging around.
The internet said it was coming.
Yeah. I
Did
was
they?
more just using the skills. I thought you
Don't
came
believe
out of
that,
the
Ned.
starship or something. Yeah.
That's what you get for
Ned.
that's what you get for doing research on Wikipedia. I tell you every time. No.
Son of a gun.
So what's coming up? What's
check my-
next?
We are working on our on pushing that Christmas movie
Okay.
through Hallmark. We have some wonderful connections there, and back to General Hospital, and we'll see. We'll see what's, we just keep auditioning all over the place because that's basically what the job is. The job of an actor is auditioning, and getting the job is gravy.
That's
So,
that's what you get paid for is the auditioning. Like comedians talk about getting paid for the travel and
right,
and-
exactly.
Yeah.
And then
Or-
writing, and I've got a novel for adults, which is different than an adult novel. I have a novel for adults that's in the works. And
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
let's quick talk about your 7 books, Pandora.
Pandora, yeah.
Now all of those were emotions. Is that how you decided how each episode was going to go?
No, Pandora in my book is because I was a Greek and Roman mythology minor at university.
Gotcha.
And so I wrote a short story. And Pandora was the protagonist in it. And then I thought, I'm just going to extrapolate this and make this into a novel. And so she finds the box containing all the evil in the world. Her father's been kind of keeping it hidden and out of, it's all keeping it safe. She finds it, she takes it to school, to the Athena Maiden Middle School where she's going. And all hell breaks loose. All the evils, the source of the evils get out into the world. And she's given this choice by Zeus. He says, okay, really? You knew you weren't supposed to touch this, but you did. You took it to school. So now here's your choice. Eternal torture and torment for you and the rest of your family in Hades. Or you, not the rest, and your family can't help you. You alone have to go and get all the evils that got out of the box back in the box.
Okay.
You got 6 months for a very specific reason. You have 6 months. What's your decision? And she says, okay. And she is joined. She knows she's probably going to be killed, within 24 hours because it's deadly. So she's joined by her 2 best friends, and she says, "No, you can't join me." And they say, "No, we're family, but we're not your blood. So we are. And besides, if we don't help you, there's not going to be anything to come back to anyway.
Yeah.
It's all the world's just going to explode." So they set out, and each book they get one of one of the evils back in the box.
Okay.
And
Gotcha.
then and they learn things along the way. It's very funny, and it's basically a primer for Greek and Roman mythology. But it's also basically the log line is sometimes when you step up to the plate and you take responsibility for what you did,
Mhm.
when you make a mistake, which we all do, you get to save the world. And so that's it. And the last book is my favorite because it's an evil that is not associated with like the 7 deadly sins,
Sure.
which are kind of like what they're based on. So it's something else, something very very prevalent in today's
Okay. And this
They
is
sound fun, yeah.
like young adult fiction.
young adults. Or it's for anyone who has an inner 13-year-old girl.
Awesome.
Okay.
Well, I have
Character's 13 years old.
I have a young
That would be me. So
yeah, I have a young daughter. She'll be 10 this summer, so I will
She is perfect Pandora age.
I love it. I love it.
She's perfect. She's a perfect Pandy fan. A perfect Pan fan.
I will be looking them up and getting them in front of her. That's awesome.
Make sure she reads them in order.
Will do. Very cool. And it'll be cool to be able to tell her, yeah, the author was on our podcast. So
Yeah, yeah.
And just she's not your real Auntie Margaret, so
Yes, yes. Don't show her that. Don't show her Wineville.
she's got a while. She's got a
Sure,
while to
get
wait
a
on
little
that one.
older.
But okay, before we let you go, I just want to, because we talked about this with Brandy. How awesome was it working with Brandy's son? Because I told her when we talked to her, he was so brilliant in the movie. I thought he was so good, and especially for somebody who apparently doesn't want to even act.
Care.
Yeah, we're gonna beat that out of him. Keaton. Yeah, all I just kept saying to Keaton was "Twinkle, twinkle, little star,
Yeah.
twinkle, twinkle, little star." He is so good. He's such a young gentleman. He's so handsome. Again, it's like, Brandy, what's wrong with this kid? There's got to be something.
Got to be something.
Gotta be something.
Yeah, he doesn't want to act. That's what's wrong.
Well, it's funny from when we watched the movie to like the premiere and him, he had grown,
Yeah.
a couple years.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'm like,
I
yeah,
saw him.
continue to be an actor.
I guess it was Sunday. Yes, it was Sunday. Sunday for the Film Threat Awards. He's tall. He's as tall as I am now.
Yeah.
It's like, stop. Just stop. Yeah, no, he's wonderful and handsome and just lovely and very solicitous and charming. So well mannered. So,
Awesome.
but look at her. I mean,
well,
that's sort of a freak of nature right there.
didn't fall too
She's
far
so
from the tree.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does not fall too far from the tree at all.
Exactly. So I did just want to say a little shout out. It's not a direct to your dad, but this is my Planet of the Apes shirt. But I know he worked on Battle of the Planet of the Apes.
Battle or Beneath? Yeah, no, Battle.
Battle of the Planet of the Apes, which so I was looking into your dad and I was watching over his movies that he worked on, and it was like my childhood. Planet of the Apes, Logan Run, Fantastic Voyage. Wow. I mean, he did it.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
And Young Frankenstein, Dirty Harry.
Wow.
Yeah,
Dirty
so
Harry.
wow. Did you ever get to go to any of those sets?
Are you kidding? That's why I think I'm the actress that I am today. Certainly
Okay.
with the philosophy of set behavior and what the crew really means to
Mhm.
the production. I went onto my first soundstage at the age of 4, Fantastic Voyage, and I said, "That's it.
What a set.
Whatever
Wow.
happens here, I'm doing it."
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, and so I've tried to follow him and be at the studio as much as possible. I spent I think it was my 14th or 15th summer at MGM on a soundstage, piecing together little tiny little cars. So the cars in the tubes that you see in Logan's Run,
Oh, wow.
the odds are fairly good that you see one of them that I made.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
that movie.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's yeah. I was a
That was
student
your
theater brat.
that was your education. That was
My education. And I thank my father because my father was salt of the earth, a down to earth guy who was just revered by the people that he worked for.
Mm.
And I understood why. And so every day that I go onto a set, it doesn't matter where, or a theater or a commercial set, or it's like, this is for you, Dad. I endeavor to make my dad proud of the daughter that he brought onto that soundstage at the age of 4.
well,
I'm sure you are.
yes, he's
I'm
very
sure
proud of
you
you.
are.
That's for sure. With that, just meeting you, you're a joy to talk with.
Thank you.
I am just in awe. We say this a lot because we started this thing 4 years ago, and when we started, it was just going to be us buffoons talking to each other. And then for some reason we ran out of stories. Like 13 episodes in, we ran out of stories, and luckily we started talking to people. And the fact that we have now had Carolyn Hennesy on our podcast is just.
Oh, you guys you're too much. Stop it. Stop it.
It's crazy.
It's genuine. It's very genuine.
Well, listen, my family and I are thinking about buying some property on Lake
Oh.
Winnebago. Yeah, no. So I may come down and just pop in. If we do it, I'll just pop in.
Yeah. Well, if you're in Wisconsin, you let us know. We'll find you. We'll do this in person. That would be fantastic.
That'd be hilarious.
We'll make time.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, you're an
I'm
absolute
so glad,
delight.
by the way, you had this is Dimples, and this is the beard. I'm so glad you have this because I wouldn't have been able to tell.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Thank
you.
Have a wonderful evening.
You
I'm
too,
excited
guys.
for your next adventures.
Thank you. Thank you. We'll talk again because I love it. This was so much fun.
Good.
So
Thank
much
you.
fun. More stories to tell. Okay.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you for listening. The tavern is closed for now, but we'd love to have you back for more fun next time. Seriously, though, get your asses out of here.